What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again, and we have another BFR to cover. Preseason Game 4 versus the Minnesota Wild. That was played in Milwaukee starting at 6:30 on October 2nd. It was not a close game. The score was 3-0. The shots were 32-11 for Minnesota, and after that, the stats just kind of fall off because nothing was. At least last time I checked, there was nothing there. But they'll probably be updated by now, but I'm not going to go back and check my phone. Blackhawks legend Marc-Andre Fleury was in net for Minnesota, saves 11 out of 11. Mrazek saves 29 out of 32. Dennis Savard was in attendance, and it shows that hockey can't be played in Milwaukee, and they have a building to play hockey in Milwaukee. And they already have the Admirals. Why not put a professional team there, if not move the Admirals up? So the lines were Domi, Athanasiou, Kane, Savoie, Lafferty, and Templey, Gutman, Blackwell, Robinson, Howarth, Philp, and Gust. On defense, you had Vlasic and Seth Jones, Stillman and Korchinski, Ruse and Caleb Jones, and in net you had Mrazek. In the first, it was a weird sequence early, puck in the air, and Mrazek gets helmet knocked off. Korchinski had a good hit. Then at 18:37, it's been a Minnesota penalty to Foligno for tripping, which would be killed, because at 17:41, a Chicago penalty to Howarth for high sticking, which would be killed, and it was 4-on-4 for a minute and 5 seconds. Foligno had a chance that was stopped. Blackwell to Athanasiou just missed. A linesman takes Domi's stick to the face, he would be alright. Dewar just missed, and Gaudreau shoots wide, that is Freddie Gaudreau. Savoie's throwing hits. Athanasiou's denied as scrum as the period ends, but before that, at 2:46, it's a Chicago penalty to Vlasic for holding, which would be killed. So penalties are. Let's grab a pen right here. If I had a pen, this will work. So it's Minnesota's 0-2, Chicago's 0-1. Go to the second period where there was a scrum at the end of the period, and then there's talks. Both teams get a penalty out of it. So a Chicago penalty and it's a Domi Minnesota the penalty to Hicketts. They both get for roughing. It's 4-on-4. A ref took a puck to the face. That wasn't pleasant. Then Kane had a near breakaway, and Howarth is hit dangerously into the boards, leading to a 16:28 Minnesota penalty to Mermis for interference, which would be killed. So both teams are 0-2. Eriksson Ek is denied. And that penalty goes so well. That power play goes so well for Chicago that at 15:56, it's a Minnesota shorthanded breakaway goal from Connor Dewar, unassisted. It makes it 1-0. Then it's a 3-on-1. Kane to Athanasiou, back to Kane, is deflected away, and I can't believe they didn't get a shot off on that. Blackwell has a narrow miss. Howarth and official collide. The officials and linesmen were taking a beating this game. Boldy was then hit in the face. Domi missed a wide open net. A Chicago and Minnesota player both collide with Mrazek. I couldn't tell who it was. Then at 2:58, it's a Minnesota penalty to Fogarty. And Stillman had blood, so Fogarty ended up getting 4 minutes for high sticking. Fogarty then has a breakaway after the penalty lets up. That's saved. Gaudreau has a breakaway, then saved. And, but the power plays for Chicago were turning into Minnesota power plays. And the Hawks then start on the power play with 1:02 left to go in power play time. Minnesota was in full control. The Hawks could even get out of their zone even when Minnesota was on the penalty kill. It was getting scrummy. Howarth was then punched in the face, and then at 13:34, it's a Minnesota penalty to Cramarosa for roughing. And then at 11:38, it's a Minnesota shorthanded goal, their second of the game, to Matthew Boldy from Hartman. No chance for Mrazek. Awful defense. And then Caleb Jones, he gets hit into the boards, his shoulder gets caught something, and he goes right to the locker room. And then Chicago hasn't had a shot in about a period. Then at 9:26, it's a Minnesota goal from Brandon Duhaime, unassisted, to make it 3-0. And it was a great dangle by him, and once again, no defense whatsoever. Seth Jones misses a point-blank shot. Then at 5:29, it's a Minnesota penalty to Hicketts for slashing, which would be killed. Sammy Walker misses a wide-open net. Then at 2:48, Chicago penalty to Philp for kill, which would be for tripping, which would have just killed. A Duhaime breakaway saved. Dewar rebound missed, and that is your game. I'm going to quickly total up the penalties. So let's see, Minnesota penalty there, Minnesota penalty. That basically counts as 2, so that's 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. So Chicago goes 0-5, and Minnesota goes 1, 2, 0 for 3. So not a great showing by either special teams unit, but both teams couldn't score on the power play, but Minnesota could score at will shorthanded. So, yep, sorry about the light glaring in the background. It's really just uncomfortable, so let's try that. Best I can do. The sun's like going right through, right here. You can see it on my hand. But that's going to be it for today's game. 2 more preseason games left. It's just dragging on at this point. And as my title said last video, the preseason is too long. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.